team is made up of myself and Reese, who are both architects, and Rosie, who is an artist who works through performing arts. She's curating a performance with a team of 5 actors and a team of our students and friends. So there's 14 of us in total.
We are 85A Collective and we're based in Glasgow. There's 12 of us working on this project. So we've come up with this idea of building a giant crusher where we're going to sacrifice the revellers of Secret Garden Party.
We're architects who kind of like to design through making and experimenting as opposed to just drawing.
We work as an architecture, which is basically uses simple building materials as a playful form of architecture.
So we're building an effigy to our Lord Master Moo Moo, 28 foot high, giant structure. His stomach, which is a crusher, and he gets really, really hungry, and he's got these big arms that kind of go, "Urgh." And when he starts to, all of us, who are his minions pretty much, go and perform our ritual, and this is where we find human sacrifice to feed our Master Moo Moo.
It's a tape pavilion, and from the outside it looks a bit like a camera. It's a camera obscura that allows you to see into the past as well as the present, maybe into the future.
View out the window, but it's also being recorded, projected down onto this table.
And the teacups allow you to look into the present, whereas around it, in the past.
We came up with this idea that it should be house-like, it should have some sort of house-like form, but we didn't want to build a solid house. So we've twisted this solid form and made it out of something that's super unsolid. I mean, there's these quite specialist, bespoke little fixing moments which are all laser cut out acrylic. They're kind of almost invisible, but they very, very specifically place each individual piece of rope.
Yeah, like it looks quite maybe man-made and quite sort of ad hoc, but this whole thing has been completely modeled in a 3D program.
This piece is called Charon. He's the Greek ferryman from Hades who takes you across the river Styx to the afterlife. This was made for Burning Man in 2011, and the theme that year was rites of passage. And I had recently lost several people very close to me, and a lot of people, it was very personal for them. A lot of people that worked on this piece, and it's kind of universal. I mean, everyone has people that they've lost. It's all about that.
This structure is a 32 metre long pier, reminiscent of kind of a Victorian walkway, something just quite pointless but enjoyable, just to walk to the end and have like a moment and then walk back again. It's just quite a simple structure, yeah, quite lovely really, with a beautiful floor.
Basically, the Moo Moos sit around a campfire at the end of each day, eating hot dogs, drinking tenants. We basically put all our ideas in a pot, and our set designer, graphic man, he kind of comes up with a giant sketch, and then we build it.
We spent the last 3 months kind of in a garden, kind of designing and building this, and setting up all the technology kind of so we could test it and see what worked. And there were loads of iterations of kind of how to track the cups, and how to track movements and what the view would be.
Yeah, I reckon it's been a 6-month process from like chatting to Rosie about the initial spaces that she wanted. We also have spent the last kind of 6 weeks test building as well, and then a massive process of phoning people up and being like, can we have £30,000 of rope for £3,000 please?
Design took about 3 months. Once we had the drawings, it took 6 months to build. There's another 4 months modifications once we decided we're going to tour it. What you do is you pull on these ropes, and the ropes get all these drums spinning, and they're driving. All the people are physically driving this piece, and they get spinning in this direction. And then once it gets up to the proper speed, strobes come on, start flashing, and then it animates the skeleton here, and you see he's pulling across the river, and there's these hands that are desperately trying to get in as he's passing by. And on the other side is a bird flying by, sort of the ascent and descent.
So we've been on site here for about 2.5 weeks. We meet up with the Secret Garden Party in about November time and just start mulling ideas, and about January time we start really kind of coming to a sort of solid conclusion of what we're going to do, and from there it's all development work.
From that, we built 3D models again on the computer and designed piece by piece, component by component, what we've got in front of us today.
People were seeing it from a long, long way away and just assuming it's like knocked together out of plywood or something because it looks so solid. And then they're kind of coming up and just being like, shit, it's made of rope. And there's just loads and loads of rope.
Without people interacting with it, it doesn't do anything. So if you don't work it, it's not something to come and look at and spectate. It's something to be a part of and be involved in. It gives it a much more visceral feel when you're pulling on those ropes and you become a part of this piece. And you're very vested in the outcome of the piece. I don't feel like art is a spectator sport. You know, I feel that it's not something to look at. It's something to be a part of.
Welcome to the public sacrifice, where we shall slaughter one of you passing revelers.
What we think as a group is really good about Secret Arts, which really works for a collective that wants to work really large scale and theatrical within a kind of melting pot of a festival, which is Secret Garden, which is full of music, theatre, arts, is that you're really supporting a crew that's maybe at more of an emerging stage. Let us up our scale and let us work in a way that is kind of three-dimensional, participatory. Thousands of people can see it outside of the gallery system, and really the festival is the most exciting place that's happening right now. 20 people a day will see something in a gallery, whereas here, you know, you can really work with a giant capacity.
The money we got from the arts we used just on materials, I think.
Because we're kind of quite young architects, it's a fantastic opportunity to build stuff. You know, have an idea and test it quickly.
We were lucky enough to get one of the large grants from Secret Arts, which has kind of enabled us to go to people like the rope suppliers. So if we'd phoned people up and said, oh, we need £1,000 worth of key clamp fittings and 260 metres of scaffold tubes for free, there's just no way they'll say anything. Going to Secret Arts with your ideas and then them being quite kind of free and loose with how those ideas end up being, just completely supportive all the time. You know, never, no, that's bonkers, not going to happen. They're always like, yeah, that's a great idea, let's make that happen.
Not every day you get to come to a beautiful place like this, and build a 30-metre long pier and make it really beautiful, and know that over a weekend maybe 5,000 people are walking. I mean, that's just such a beautiful thing, and I'm really grateful to them for giving us the chance to do it.
A lot of our funding goes on materials. We do rely on a lot of people to work for virtually nothing and for free for us. Everyone has really worked as hard as they can to get to this stage, and it's essential that we have input from all different areas in order to get to this stage.
Secret Arts has recently come about as a funding opportunity for more artists to get involved, and it's really given a launch pad for loads of artists from all different reaches.
don't you